So hello everyone. Welcome if you are new to the channel, and welcome back if you love me. I love you too. I've put the shuffle in the corner for you so that you guys can see it. I wanted to save on that time and really get into the message, because if you're catching this in divine time, this message is meant for you. There is a part of you that wants to thrive and love your life, and may be feeling like it's a little bit impossible sometimes. You may be feeling really high anxiety. You may feel like you're always screwing everything up, or you don't know how you're screwing things up, and you're experiencing a lot of pain over resets and things like that. So Spirit has guided me to do this reading for you to help you out of that energy and move you forward. With the tops and bottoms of the decks, we've got self-sabotage and the Nine of Swords on top. We have help from above and temperance on bottom. And this is really indicating that overall energy of feeling like you've made mistakes that you can't go back and rectify. You know, these lessons that we've been learning about ourselves and life and our journey here and our purpose here. You may be having a lot of anxiety about it, especially if you feel like you're hitting roadblocks, especially if you feel like you've reset so many times already. You know, and now you're resetting again, and it's like, how many more times, right, do I have to go through this before I start to level out, before things start to become stable, before life can be enjoyable, before life can be more free-flowing and not so hard, right? I think people who would resonate to this reading have a real close relationship with the struggle and the pain or the question marks and unknowns of life, that they have a very close understanding of that energy, and that it's felt very deeply. Like, even if you're not necessarily in that energy now, you can almost definitely flash back to a time where you had hit some kind of major low. You know, even if you're going about your life and you're doing the everyday things that you would normally do, the inner world, even if the outer reflection, the outer projection is positive and concealed, right, strong, the inner world is quite tumultuous and stormy, and you may feel like it's really heavy or you're drowning. You know, there's this anxiety, this high anxiety that we mask trying to be strong and get through things, and not necessarily knowing how to reflect inside of it and move beyond it, which I think is essentially where Spirit is going with this reading. Help from above and temperance is on the bottoms of the deck, and this really is the divine coming through for you in this moment to help you alchemize through these energies and get you back into your light, right? There was a point in my journey where I had put up a picture of myself on Facebook, because, you know, social media is all about the facade, and I hate the fucking facade. I really, really do. And I'm real, you know, and I put up a picture where I had started the day in tears. I had started the day crying, like ugly crying, and I was in my work uniform, like 10 minutes away from clocking in. I was just a mess. And then by the end of the day, I had picked myself up completely, and I was smiling and I was happy. And I put those two pictures side by side with the caption that from our lowest lows, they become the platforms from which we soar, right? Kind of like a rocket has a platform. It starts at the bottom and fires off into these heights that are unimaginable and mysteriously beautiful and stunning, right? These places of energy where we can't even believe that we started at such a low place. And so these moments of pressure, right, that we put the self under, these moments of anxiety and stress that we feel, when we feel like we're breaking down on the inside and we just want to scream and ugly cry, like these are the platforms from which we soar. And Spirit is helping you soar, okay? If you are at a low right now, between you and you, even if you've had lower lows, it doesn't discount the fact that you're feeling the struggle right now, okay? You can soar from where you are. You don't have to go any lower. We have 4 sets of energy here. These might resonate in their entirety as you. They might resonate as different people and circumstances to help you understand. However the reading is meant to resonate with you, I trust that it will resonate with you the way that it's meant to. And if you come back to this reading in a couple weeks, if you hit the save button and you come back to it, or you add it to your watch later playlist and catch it in divine time, I think the hindsight is going to completely blow your mind. So we get into these cards. We started out with Home. Home was the first card out, and it came out clarified by an 8 of Wands with the Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Chariot, the 6 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands, 6 and 7 of Wands reverse, came out with that energy as well. It's talking about this state of reflection, possibly on something written, because she's most definitely holding a letter or some kind of paper in her hand. It could be a journal entry. It could be a text message, right, that someone had sent to you. It could be a note to self that you left. It's something written. And the wallpaper in the background is peeling off, revealing a deeper layer. I think you first have to give yourself credit, because you've come a long way. Even if you're not where you intended to be or thought you would be in this life right now, you came a hell of a long way from where you started. If you were to look back at where you were just a few years ago, or even further back, like, you're a very different person now than you were before. You have learned new things about yourself, new capabilities that you hold within yourself that you didn't previously understand were a part of you, you know. The 8 of Wands is about getting these intuitive downloads about the Ace of Cups being in reverse, and it's where we pour ourselves out. It's where we release the love from the divine. Instead of allowing it to overflow for us, we discard it, right? It's like dumping it out. With the Chariot and the 6 of 7 of Wands reversed here, Spirit's trying to get this message across to you that when you move forward, you're not meant to move forward with this mentality of loss or this mentality of defeat, more specifically, right? Because the 6 of Wands is a victory card. The 6 of Wands in reverse is not, it's defeat, it's embarrassment, right? It's embarrassed. Like, if you think about, you know, countries that have gone to war and big armies, the loss is an embarrassment, because they're supposed to be the foundation of the country, right? So it's kind of like this message within the self that Spirit's telling you, like, if you're going to move forward, you can't take the perception of loss with you. If you take the perception of loss with you, you're dumping out the love that the divine would give you and leaving yourself defenseless against these lower energies. You're a breeding ground for more low vibratory states of being, right? You're open to more sadness. You're open to deeper depression. You're open to more anxiety. You're open to more distrust when you're not listening to your intuition. And Spirit reminding you that things end for a reason, and they are meant to be reflected on. You know, the home, if you think about astrology, home is the 4th house. And the 4th house, it rules the IC line, which is 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐶𝐸, at least that's how I pronounce it. But it's the inner child, right? The IC line to me is the inner child. The fourth house rules the second self. We have the self that we're born into being, right, with the Aries first house. But the second house of self is the inner child. And that facet of who we are comes about according to how we're nurtured, how we are taken care of in our younger years, okay? It's the second self. It's the feelings we start to have about the life we experience based off of who we are. These houses are naturally in square, the first and the fourth house. You know, who we are when we're born, our character, it's taught how to be. It's taught what's acceptable. It's punished when it is not up to the standard of the adults in our life and all of their shadows and toxicity that's gone unhealed, you know. So we have this inner child. It's develops our love language and how we receive love. So all of these things here, if we're reflecting back on who we were, if we're reflecting back on the bright sparkle, you know, that glimmer in the eye when we're a kid, and all of this inquisitive, curious, hands-on type of nature that we possess, and how we're disciplined out of it, it carries into our adult life where we're afraid to be ourselves, and we start to hide certain things away, and we look to certain discipline as a form of love, and we mistreat the self and other people to be disciplined by the outer experience, to be punished, to remind ourselves that we're loved. Because if they weren't correcting us and wanting us to be different, then they don't love us, right? If we're perfect the way we are, that goes against the whole perception of what life is about and what people we love do. Right? Our belief is that who we are, right? This is ingrained. Who we are is not good. And we have to be what other people want us to be. And so, you know, if we were to be perfect in someone's eyes and they didn't want us to change, we would start to feel wildly uncomfortable and push it away. This is where that self-sabotage energy comes in. And so there's a part of this process where we have to understand that we learned certain things about ourselves that aren't necessarily true. What one parent that you had, you know, despised, or it got on their nerves, certain aspects of you, had you had a different parent, that different parent might have loved and nurtured those parts of you, you know. And in this life, the challenges that we go through with the families that we come into this life with, the parents that we end up with, it's to go back to this beautiful self that we came in with and use it as a form of creation, right? As we get into the second set of cards and we're talking about creation, we have dreams here. Dreams leads those cards. It comes out clarified by the Ten of Swords and Justice, and is further acknowledged with the Four of Pentacles, the Star, and the Two of Swords. Our dreams. The Ten of Swords makes us feel like they're unattainable, that it's impossible, that we're constantly getting betrayed by people along the way, not realizing our alignment right from here, our alignment from the beginning is manifesting certain experiences and certain people based on our vibration, right? Law of vibration. It's one of the 12 universal laws. If you're not familiar with them, get real familiar with them, because if you can master the laws of the universe and understand them and apply them, you will set yourself free. But I digress. The dreams with the Ten of Swords and Justice here. The Ten of Swords is when we hold on to this idea of healing being something outside of ourselves, that we have to pray to have a healed experience, that we have to pray and have something outside of ourselves answer the prayer, right? God, spirit, source, creator, universe, whatever you label it as. You pray to something outside of yourself and hope that your experience comes into being. The justice of it all is when you take the blindfold off, right? Your ancestors, the crows here on the card, are actually pulling at the strings, and she's shoving them away, right? She's almost shooing them away, but the strings are all coming from the blindfold. It's like they're trying to unravel it to help you see. You know, our parents didn't have the answers. They didn't have the answers. Whether you had no parents and substitute parents, whether you had one parent, two parent, four parents, it doesn't matter. The justice comes in. The healing comes in when you take the blindfold off. When you learn from history and realize that it does in fact repeat itself. You are not your father or fathers, and you are not your mother or mothers. You are not your parents. There is this discussion that we've had previously on the channel that when you look in the mirror and you see your parents, and there's things about your parents that you don't like, or there's stories that you've heard about your parents that you don't like, and you see yourself in the mirror and they're a part of you. You look like them. You might sound like them. You might laugh like them. You have certain features that they have, and every time you see it, you're reminded that you're a part of them, and they might not always be the best people. They might not always be the most put together. In fact, they may be excruciatingly toxic, and yet you are them. There's a self-hatred that's buried deep within the inner child. When we do not rectify that and consistently remind ourselves that we are not our parents, we could be if we chose it. We could repeat their life if we chose it. But we have the free will and divine will to align with that would remind you that your life is your own, your journey is your own, your dreams are your own. Justice comes in, healing comes in when you start to learn from history and free yourself from the blindness of following it, right? Blindly following the karma because you're not healing it, right? You took on that karma early. You took on that healing early. We're talking young kids, right? Like 6 and under, your inner child. You're learning that your dreams are possible, that you really can achieve them. If you start to acknowledge the fact that you are not anything or anyone other than who you choose to be right now. So what if your parents were addicts? You don't have to be. So what if your parents were financially irresponsible? You don't have to be. So what if your parents were nasty and said horrible things and were mean? You don't have to be. So what if your parents were lazy and capped themselves and their potential and bought into the machine? You don't have to. So what if your parents thought that they weren't good enough or they weren't capable of living a better life and they settled for what they could get? You don't have to. Your life is whatever you want it to be. And so Spirit's asking you, right, to pay attention to the signs. That's the next card. pay attention to the signs. It comes out with the Hierophant and the Page of Wands, furthered with the Six of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Strength card. Your belief in your ability to move forward despite opposition, despite conflict, that you would be able to believe that you're climbing up the ladder, that you're moving steps ahead up the staircase, right? That you're getting closer and closer to your top. Every time you move forward and let your ancestors, right? These crows here, now the strings are pulling the boat forward. She was here at the Two of Swords. And she was swatting the crows away, but now they're here and they're using those strings to pull her forward. You can believe in your capability, your intuition to move forward. Other people might not like it, and that's not your problem. Choosing what is in your highest good is what you were put here to do. It's what you manifested in this life for. That's your purpose. You're not meant to know what it is. You're meant to unfold it. If you knew in advance, it would take all the fun out. It would take all the gratitude out. It would take the blessing out, the strength out, the discovery. That's the best part. I mean, imagine watching the movie and just catching the ending. And now that you've seen the ending, if you go back and watch the movie from the start, it doesn't hit the same. The whole beauty of the ending of the movie is the build to it. The ending blows us away because we watched the beginning and the middle and the climactic moments. If we just skipped to the end and then started watching the movie, it's almost like, what's the point? You know? So you don't know what your purpose is. You're meant to unfold it. You're meant to move forward. You're meant to see the signs. You're meant to listen to your intuition. You're meant to have this belief that the divine really does have your back. You can reinvent yourself. You can hold strong in that. It doesn't fucking matter what the peanut gallery says. It doesn't matter who they are. We've been having this discussion all week about labels. Who are they if you remove the label? What do they add to your life? What do they do? What joy do they bring? What relief do they bring? What ease do they bring? Or are they bringing a bunch of bullshit? The Five of Wands is conflict. It's ego battles. It's control. It's this fight for control where your vision conflicts with their vision. If your liberation triggers them, it's probably because they were benefiting from you when you were oppressed by them. When you were being oppressed by their needs and their label on you. If your liberation bothers them, it's because they were benefiting by your oppression. They were benefiting by you playing small. I don't know about y'all, but I don't play small. Not anymore, not in my life. And every time I think I'm playing big, I play bigger. Go all or go home. I didn't come here to settle. And neither did you. Neither did you. You did not come here to play small. You did not come here to not believe in yourself. You did not come here and the mission was not to be in your strength. To be gentle with yourself, to love your life, to grow. Your life holds infinite possibilities, infinite potential. How high can you allow yourself to climb? How much do you believe in the something that's bigger than yourself that you were meant to be a part of? Have you always had that feeling? Let me know in the comments. Have you always had that feeling that you were meant for something more? That there was more to life than this? Tell me you haven't. Tell me you caught this reading and that's not true. There's something greater for you. And you're right. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Let them guide you. They come from your ancestors. They come from your guides and guardians. They come from spirit, your higher self. That's what the crows represent. They bring the synchronicities in. The energy that loves you unconditionally to the highest degree. The highest of the high. Bring those synchronicities in for you. Bring those messages in for you to remind you that you're not alone no matter how much you feel that way. You are not alone. Appearances can be deceiving. Appearances can be deceiving. Whether you have 100 people around you and feel like you're all by yourself in the room because no one sees you or gives a shit, or whether you are quite literally physically alone, you are not alone. Ever. They are guiding you constantly. They do not sleep. They do not sleep. They are with you when you wake up. They are with you throughout your day. They're with you when you go to bed. They're with you in your dreams. Helping you understand certain things about your own self that you can either lean into as a strength or overcome. That you don't need to be triggered by certain things, by certain feelings, by certain experiences. Have faith is the last card. It's card number 22. It came out with the Knight of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands and the World card. This is the end of lack. That's the end of lack and feeling alone. The Five of Pentacles is in a state of lack and feels alone. Hasn't opened the door to spirit. Hasn't tuned into their spiritual elements. That's ending. The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands is about moving forward with vision, passion, and purpose. Even if you don't know what it is, you can look forward to it because it's unfolding. It's unfolding. You're the black horse. You're the beautiful black horse, dancing to the beat of your own drum. This is your moment. This is your lifetime for you to do great things. Anybody holding you back, anybody who doesn't make you feel good, let them go. Any belief, any perspective that you've been holding on to and resisting the healing of, take the blindfold off. Recognize your strength and value. Recognize that you have potential just like anybody else in this life. And the only person that's going to reach that potential is you, and it's you when you choose it. Take a small step. Take a small step and decide you are not going to answer or respond to that text message, because every time that person messages you, it distracts you from your day, even if it's just for a moment and you don't like it. If you don't like your job, if it gets on your fucking nerves, see what else is out there. Take the first step and look. Just look. Go on Indeed. You don't like the relationship you're in? It's frustrating for you. You don't have to stick it out if you cannot have conversations that result in progress. If you are with a partner where you've had the same redundant ass conversations over and over and over again and nothing changes and nothing gets better and it's just redundant, they're not growing, they're not changing, and you're just dealing with stress every day, consider letting them go. Consider freeing yourself. Don't be in lack like you can't receive better. Job, family, relationships, let it go. Like, my family was not the best family. They were not the best family. I have found an amazing soul family. My following, my subscribers, The damn near 35,000 people on Facebook now, like, they're all my family. They're my family. I love them with my whole soul. And they support me in this journey every day. Like, I had to let go of my actual family to find the beauty in this one. I've had to let go of relationships that were toxic in order to find the beautiful relationship with myself. Don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to listen to your intuition. Believe in your dreams. They are not far-fetched. They are not some kind of surreal illusion. Your dreams are real. Your passion is real. You consistently putting in effort to align yourself with good things, with good feelings, with stable, consistent, quality people, people who pay attention to the details, people who take the time to make it right, take the time to make it beautiful, quality people. You connect with them. People who are not of high quality, where they just want to get it done. They just want to move forward. They just want to get the result and not put in the work, the actual work, the quality work. Let them go. Let them go. Because every time you let someone in your life and they are not up to quality, shit doesn't work. That's why you can buy a refrigerator from 30 years ago and it still works today. But if you were to buy a refrigerator today, it'll be broken in 3 years. Quality. Quality has longevity. Pick quality people. People who pay attention to the details. People who choose to make your life beautiful. Beautiful down to the last detail. They're not going to rush it. They're not going to embarrass you. And you're not going to fall apart and have to reset. What happens when the refrigerator you just bought broke? You go and buy a new one. Because half the time now it's cheaper to buy a new one than it is to freaking repair it. Look for quality. Quality relationships. Family, friends, romantic, business, or otherwise. Because if they're not bringing quality, if you are not bringing quality, you're going to go through resets. This is about spirit having a conversation about you and your quality, your light, your bright shine, your glow, your moment. This is about you. Being the best person you can be. And if other people don't like that you are choosing in your highest good, it is literally because they were benefiting from you not being your best. They were spiritually fucking lazy. They were not quality with themselves. They were not quality with their own healing. And they're blowing it. They're blowing it with you because you're deciding to be quality and they aren't. That's fine. The divine has them. The divine will help them heal in their own time. You put in those hours to make yourself better. You put in those hours to listen to your feelings and acknowledge when something doesn't feel good and you need a healthy boundary with it. Or you need to let it go entirely. Because there's better out there and you know it. Hierophant, that's faith. Have faith. There's better. There's better, or you wouldn't desire it. If there wasn't better, you wouldn't desire it. People who have reached a state of samadhi in this life, nirvana in this life, completion in this life, don't want to change a fucking thing. So if you wish that something was better, it's because it can be. Not only can it be, it was meant to be better. It was meant to be better, or you wouldn't desire it. If you were completely content and satisfied with everything in your life, you would not desire more. So give yourself more. Do more. Be quality. Take the time. Make your life beautiful. Own your choices. Don't settle for people who are learning at a different level you've already gone beyond. Nobody is better than anybody else, but damn if we are not at different levels in the process of it all. Like video games. Some people just starting and they're at level 1, and other people have been playing the game for a year and they're fucking level 55. One person's no better than the other, but one person's a little further along. Stop linking up with people who are not on your level. Stop bringing yourself down to their level and acting like you're less than where you are. Zoom through this shit. And when I say zoom through this shit, I mean fucking trust yourself. Trust yourself. That's like finding the magical item that allows you to just make your life manifestations easy. That it's easy to level up. It's easy to gain experience. It's easy to learn, right? Positive perspectives, healthy belief systems about yourself. Learning about the mirror of it all. The mirror of it all. I'm in your mirror. Happy, healthy, whole. In your mirror. Because a part of you is meant to be that. It's meant to be that. You are meant to be happy, healthy, whole, loving your life. Being in beautiful quality, shining bright, being you. Fuck what everybody else thinks. If they don't fucking like it, they can figure it out. It's not going to stop you from living your best life. Take your fucking power back. Take your power back. Which, you know what? That gets us into the guidance card. That gets us into the guidance card. Card 29 is Beautiful Bandit. I'm going to read some for you. It says, this card really. You can choose right now to feel good about yourself. If you've been beating yourself up, stop it now. Don't let anyone else decide how you should feel about yourself. Taking responsibility for your actions means that when you have done something that you feel is out of integrity, you do something about it that is constructive and useful. Damning yourself with judgment or allowing another to steal your self-esteem is neither of those things. The Divine Mother is telling you to forgive yourself and use your energy now to live the best life that you can. It's time to take your life back. You are one tough sweetheart, a spiritual gangster, a beautiful bandit, stealing back from the unworthy that which rightfully belongs with you. You have certain spiritual rights that cannot be denied you. Your dignity, power, and grace, your sense of beauty and self-esteem, your chosen belief systems, your energy, and your right to take up space in this world rightfully belong to your soul. Your faith in your spiritual connection with the universe and the sense of your life purpose belong to your soul too. So do your joy, your laughter, and your enjoyment of life, your belief in your own purity of heart and the goodness of your own being. Your right to love yourself is owned by your soul too. Even when you've made mistakes, the Great Mother loves and forgives you, knowing that you are doing your best and are her precious child. You have a spiritual right to be free from torment, cruelty, and mental anguish. You alone own the right to choose your thoughts and claim your freedom to make your own choices. You are fierce with wisdom. You know that another cannot ever successfully steal what truly belongs to you, and if they try, your sacred rage will rise up and you will not hesitate to stake the winning claim for what is rightfully yours. The beautiful bandit comes to you with a message. Anything that you feel has been taken from you unfairly shall be taken back by you. Claim what is yours. By spiritual right, justice will prevail. Say aloud, I claim the entirety of my divine inheritance. All that is rightfully mine through divine justice and divine mercy is now returned to me through my own free will. So be it. No one can take your light from you. No one can take your path from you. No one. The divine would never allow it. So much so that it guided you here just to make sure. Just to make sure that you could wake up tomorrow and start fresh. And if your day just started, awesome, because you're going to have a great one. You're going to have a great one. You're going to have an empowering one. You're going to give 2 fucks less today than you did yesterday. You're going to take the label off of 2 people that you were hell-bent on maintaining that label and the obligations to it yesterday. You're going to free yourself a little more today than you were yesterday. And before you know it, you're going to be thriving a hell of a lot more than you were before. This is your life. You live it best. You live it best. And that is the message. Subscribe if it resonated with you. Thank you if you stuck around. My love and support is with you always. Racy's out. Bye, everybody.